How's it going, everybody? And welcome to the Fourth and Long podcast on Saturday, August 31st. It is officially the first Saturday of the college football season. Today's podcast, I'll be giving you my best bets and my bets to avoid, as well as a few score predictions. But let's get started with my best bets. My first best bet is USC +4 to cover outright against LSU tomorrow night. Now, I think this is going to be a really good game tomorrow night. Do I think you saw my pick earlier in the week with my co-host, but I think USC is going to cover here +4 outright cover against LSU tomorrow night. My next best bet is take the over 62.5 points in the Idaho State-Oregon State game. I think there's going to be a lot of scoring in the Idaho State-Oregon State game. And I did think Oregon State wins, but like I said, I think there's a ton of scoring, and I think Oregon State wins. My next best bet is take Miami of Ohio +3.5 to outright win versus Northwestern. Now, you can say that, yes, this is an upset, and I think it's going to happen. I have not zero expectation, but I have very minimal expectations for Northwestern this year. And I think they start off with a loss here to Miami. And that's one of the games I'm going to give you a score prediction on here in a second. But I think Miami covers that 3.5 point spread and wins outright. My next and final best bet is take the under 54.5 points in the Troy-Nevada game. I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of scoring in the Nevada-Troy game today. I just don't. I think this is going to be a boring, low-scoring game, and there's not going to be a ton of scoring. And now we get to a couple bets to avoid making today. The first one for me is don't take the spread of minus or +26 in the Kentucky Southern Miss game. If it spreads under 30 to me, that means they think the team, so in Kentucky's case, they're playing Southern Miss. They think Southern Miss might be able to hang around in this game for a little bit. That is why the point spread is under 26. Under 30 points. So, unless you're really desperate and you want to put money down on Kentucky -26 or Southern Miss +26, no bueno. I would not do it. I would stay away from it. There's no use. And the other one is avoid the point spread in the Clemson-Georgia game, which is now 12.5 in favor of Georgia. This line is another one that's moved over the last couple weeks. It started at 16.5, then went down to 16, then it went to 15.5. Now it's all the way down to 12.5. This is a little worrisome. I still think Georgia wins, but if you want to bet this, I would say take Clemson in the points. That's just me. I could be wrong. We'll see. But now, we're going to get to some score predictions for week 1. And the first one is the Clemson-Georgia game. I think Georgia's going to win this game 35-21. Yes, I think Clemson scores 21 points, but I think Georgia wins. Oh, correction. Now the line, it's 11.5. So that's even more for a cost to take Clemson into points. Because they got to keep it within 11. If they keep it within 11, that means Georgia covered. Clemson covers. But I think it's 35-21 Georgia. West Virginia, Penn State. This is another line that has teeter-tottered the whole week, including even last week in week 0. I like West Virginia as my upset pick here. And hear me out. I think they win this game 35-31 with a last-minute interception from the West Virginia defense. We're going to go Virginia Tech, Vanderbilt. Now, this should not be much of a game. I think Vanderbilt is going to get crunched by Virginia Tech. I think Virginia Tech wins 48-7. They put up 40 points in their first game as a tune-up for their big game next Saturday against Marshall, which I will be talking about at the end of this after I give my game picks. So that's 3. Got 2 more games. South Dakota State, Oklahoma State. Okay, so the interesting thing about this game, look at the point spread. It's at 10 now. It's at 9.5 the whole week, and it bumped back up. It went up to 10. I think Oklahoma State wins by more than 10 points. Now, the only way South Dakota State pulls the upset is if they don't turn the ball over and they don't make dumb plays. And if they don't have pre-snap penalties. But I think Oklahoma State, the final score, I think is going to be 42-38 Oklahoma State, and they went on a field goal at the end of the game. That's 5. We have one more game that we're going to be picking. And it's my personal favorite. It's Florida and Miami. Miami's only a 2.5-point favorite. I think Florida's going to win this game, and the final score is going to be 35-28 Gators. But, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't heard, next week, it is official. Next week, I will be going to Blacksburg, Virginia, Thursday, September 5th, for the Virginia Tech Marshall game. I will be streaming live. I will be live streaming from Blacksburg all 4 days I'm there. And Friday, the 6th, is the first fan meetup for the Fourth and Long podcast YouTube channel. And it is from 3 to 6 p.m. And as well, I know I mentioned this the other day, but I've been planning something big in the background that has to do with the Virginia Tech game, and it is I have put in for media credentials for the Virginia Tech game, Virginia Tech Marshall game. I'm waiting to hear back on whether I've been accepted. If I get accepted, I will be sitting in the press box for the Virginia Tech Marshall game. And I might give you a double live stream that day. The first one being at, I think, 12:30 from Blacksburg, from walking around, taking in the tailgating atmosphere at Virginia Tech, and then maybe again for a little bit at 4:30 right before the game starts to show you what it's like being in the press box. And also, if you want to see behind the scenes, if I do get press box access, let me know down in the comments below. And also subscribe if you haven't already. Turn on notifications. I know you're going to like this YouTube channel a lot. We cover daily college football content here, from upset picks, game picks, score predictions. 3 days a week, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. I have my co-host on here, and we talk about college football, of course. And we debate about topics in college football. If you haven't seen any of the previous, I highly recommend going back and watching the first couple episodes of the podcast with Bradley, my co-host. It's a must watch. But that's going to wrap up this morning's video. Enjoy your first Saturday of the college football season, and I will see you Monday morning at 11 a.m. with my upset picks for week 2, and then Monday night at 10 p.m. with my trip preview for the Virginia Tech college football trip. Have a wonderful Saturday.